Anytime I buy one of these crash cars, especially anything exotic, I take a close look at the pictures, make a list of everything I can see that's damaged, and then I turn that into a parts price sheet so I can get an idea of how much the project might end up costing me and how much this project car is actually worth. The problem with this specific Crash V12 Ferrari is even though there's plenty of obvious parts missing in the front end, the majority of the damage is concentrated in the undercarriage, which makes it nearly impossible to estimate what's actually wrong with it in a complete roll of the dice. After receiving this car in person and getting a good look at its undercarriage, my first assessment of it is, now it's easy to be freaked out at twisted pieces of aluminum frame like this, but a quick reminder that one of my best salvage purchases initially looked like this, with some nasty aluminum frame damage, and it turned out like this. Well, pretty much every step of the rebuild was done on a budget, but that was a different project at a different time. The big factor here is that this is a V12 Italian exotic. Parts are fairly scarce, which makes them insanely priced. On the surface, if you look at things here, it's not really all that terrible. The car needs a fender, headlight, front bumper, a set of wheels and brakes, and a bunch of front suspension parts, but that's just on the surface. What is busted under the car? And here's where the idea of trying to calculate the value of one of these salvage cars is pretty much useless. Even if we get this fixed, what's it worth to someone else? What's my time worth while answering their 20 questions? There's no real answer to any of this stuff, but we need to start at step one and figure out if this thing is worth fixing. Since I bought it as a non-runner, and up to this point it hasn't started, the first obvious step here is to make sure the car runs and runs good. If we can get this V12 to start, it will be a huge relief and a sign that maybe this car was meant to be given a second life. Not to mention, the sound of a Ferrari V12 is the second best listening experience in the world. The only thing better, in my opinion, is the sound of a set of Raycon's everyday earbuds, headphones, or speakers. And if you're not listening to my sweet voice through a set of Raycons right now, 'tis the perfect time to get some because Raycon is having a sale like I've never seen before by offering their most popular products as bundles. I got the Audio Lovers bundle, which includes a set of everyday earbuds and these everyday headphones, which are the nicest, most comfortable headphones I've ever had. My favorite feature is easily their active noise cancellation. One tap of the button on this side here, and if you've got one of those yappy meemaws that comes around during the holidays, you won't hear a single word that comes out of her mouth. Now, when you buy any one of these bundles, you're going to get a special discount, but for a limited time, you're going to get an additional 30% off bundles and 20% off site-wide when you use code EARLYBF at checkout, which means you can knock out 2 gifts in one for an incredible price and enjoy the supreme comfort, audio quality, and selectable sound profiles with up to 54 hours of battery life with Raycon's wireless earbuds, headphones, and speakers. You've got to check these deals out over at buyraycon.com/samcracker. Just hit that link in the description. Don't forget code EARLYBF for 30% off their bundles and 20% off site-wide. And as these deals kind of shift, I'm going to go and update my description box, but you will always get the best deal over at buyraycon.com/samcrack. I bought this car as a non-runner and a non-driver. It's been sitting for several months, and this V12 engine is the same exact one you'll find in the multi-million-dollar Ferrari Enzo. This engine by itself is worth probably about 2/3 of the price that I paid for this entire car, so we can't mess things up. If you look down there, and if you saw when we got it off the tow truck, you'll probably notice that, well, it's seeping a bit of oil. So we don't know how much oil has left this system, and there's no easy way to check. I know a lot of you are going, well, just pull the dipstick and see if it works and run the car. But this is a dry sump system, and the way you check Ferrari dry sumps is with the car running. So I'm going to check the oil, and the only way I know how to do so, we'll pull the drain plug really quick. If there's oil in, we'll be good enough to run this car for probably, well, at least 5 to 10 seconds to make sure the engine isn't damaged. So we can go ahead and dump well over $10,000 worth of parts just to get this car off the trailer. Oh, yep, there's oil in there. There's definitely oil in there. There's definitely oil. And I'm letting it all out. There we go. Let's just get that. Yep, there we go. Okay. We've got oil. It's really dirty oil, but that'll be good. Maybe we'll put just a smidgen back in, and then we'll give it a start. All right, so we put the key in the ignition here and turn it all on. You can see the blinkers are on permanently pretty much. And it's not that they're selected, it's just because obviously the car was in an accident. And if you look right here, it should tell us there's an error with our inertia switch. Let's see. See right there, inertia switch triggered. We've got to untrigger it, and then that should allow us to test start the engine. Right now, if I just go to test start things, nothing. I have absolutely nothing. Except for windshield wipers, those do work. Now, according to our diagrams, our inertia switch should be under the seat here. I've got a light on to see if we can see any sort of little box that would hold this. No, I can't see anything. Okay, now, with it all the way up and back, maybe it's under here? Look, you know, Ferrari does stuff in interesting ways. You see these Phillips heads? These are pretty normal for trim pieces. I'm betting you the inertia switch is under here. So let's get a screwdriver and pop this panel up. And there's our inertia switch right there. Push it down. That's it. Now this thing should start up. All right, we're boosted. All right. Here we go. Foot on the brake. 3, 2, 1. Oh, hold on, it didn't work. Hold on, let me try again. 3, 2, 1. What am I doing? Let's try and do the immobilizer thing. We hit the unlock button, put the key in the ignition. Okay, everything's starting like it should. And it says bonnet open. That would be the only thing potentially stopping it from starting. They can be really funny, but the one thing I don't like is that the ignition on this car isn't even clicking over into the start position. It's like it's jammed. All right, I think we figured out what the issue is. I just called Radarosa and I said, I'm turning the key. Look, I'm putting the key in the ignition. I'm turning it. Why isn't it turning? What's going? He said, Sam, I've got a stupid question for you. Are you... Here, let me just play what he had to say.
Okay, tricky one, that's Sam. So you turn the key, dash lights up, key then jams and the engine won't start. Look, all I can think, without stating the obvious here, you're turning the key, you are then pressing the start button after, right? The red start button on the steering wheel. I feel stupid asking, mate, but just confirm the simplest thing. You are not being a numpty here, and then we'll move on to the next step.
Yeah, I'm used to the old 360 where you actually turn the key. There's an actual engine start button there. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Well, that didn't do anything. Let's try it again here. Oh, okay. So it's gonna at least try to start. That sounds good. All right, here we go. Here's the real start. All right. I'm shutting it off real quick. How bad was the leaking?
I didn't see any. Little drops, not much.
Okay, good. So it's not gushing oil out, which is great. And these Ferraris always run really bad the first time you start them up. Well, really anytime. They have to go through an adaptation. I've been through it a million times. So while it didn't sound perfect, there's definitely no knock or anything. But we'll do this one more time. We'll run it just a little bit longer. All right, keep recording. 3, 2, 1. Sounds pretty darn good. All right. Success. We know it runs. Now it's time to open up the wallet. And over the next few weeks I did, scouring the world for all the suspension components I thought I would need in order to get this thing to drive itself off the trailer. I got a couple control arms, a steering knuckle, all from overseas, and so far I've only spent around $1,000. Take a look at this upper control arm. This should be pretty much symmetrical, and it's been twisted, which is surprising because the bottom one, well, it cracked right here, and then I sawzalled it off. In those sections, we need to get this car off the trailer because I'm going to pick something else up real quick. So I hired a couple guys to make things easier. Got Alex here. He's really just trying to butter me up. He's doing this for something completely unrelated. Business.
$75 an hour, right? We agreed on that?
Well, I know you want to work for me long term, but At 75, we might have to negotiate down a little bit.
Wow, wait till you see this quality work we're doing here.
Look at the brand new one.
Brand new one, ready to go.
Well, but Alex, we got to talk about the problems, the things that you bring, the negativity you bring to it. No, you brought one negative vibe here. You found more damage.
Yeah.
Don't show them, but there's more damage. There's a lot of damage, which is crazy because all the damage is in this corner. And it's a corner that has the fender on it. That's the corner missing the fender. It doesn't make any sense.
When someone shows you auction car pictures and they say, yeah, it's not that bad. It's always that bad.
It's bad.
It's worse. It's worse.
This one is...
Anyway, we got the new lower on.
Nice, yeah.
Which is nice. I just got to tighten it up. You are going to need a new shock.
I'm going to get a new shock.
It's totally destroyed right there. But just for getting it off of the... well, hang on. Let's see here.
I think it will go in, yeah.
We can muscle this. A couple guys hold it, and then we just need to get, we need to lay in there. We'll get the bolt in
and
there.
then we're going to stick a block of wood in between the caliper here so when we go and hit the brakes, it just stops, and it doesn't create a nightmare for me.
Or we can just take a chunk of the carbon ceramic.
Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay, so Alex is helping me. We got a couple more guys on the way to throw this thing together in record time and get it going.
You see this?
Yeah.
That's not good either.
That's the rack.
Oh yeah, this rack is done, dude.
Oh, don't tell me about the rack. I just looked up a rack.
Well, I'm sure AutoZone's probably got this rack for $250, right?
This is like a $4,000 rack. We got the spindle on the knuckle. It's amazing that the parts breakers, they actually pull these spindles off because they can sell them for an extra $200-300.
Yeah.
It's all a nickel and dime game, and I'm going to be nickel and dimed even more with all the damage you found. The extra help already showed up, Alex, once we got the job done. Look over here.
It's not true.
Thanks a lot.
It's not true.
Steven and Rich.
It's not true at all.
They're getting it all done.
Did you verify that hub? Did you verify that hub's actually functional?
Yeah, it works. It spins. Listen.
Oh, he
Yeah,
You hear how you hear nothing? Listen. This is a Mercedes-Benz tech that will say, listen.
That's a nice bearing, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
bearing.
That's a very nice bearing.
Good bearing.
Good bearing.
Quality bearing.
Yeah.
Okay, basically, we've got to just slip it over the two bushings here, and here. And then we got to just put a bolt in it. Wheel, no caliper for right now. We're going to hang it because we're waiting for the replacement rotor. And we're going to be able to drive this thing off the trailer. Like usual, I spoke too soon. Between the play in the rack, the bent shock mount, and the wheels that were no longer round, the car was as shifty as could be. And to make matters worse, it wouldn't go into gear. Now, I'm not too worried about the transmission as of yet. You see, the trans is located all the way in the back of the car, which was mostly untouched. And with suspension, electrical stuff out of whack, the F1 system can be really finicky. So I bet that's our problem, but we needed this car off the trailer for the time, as we had to use the trailer to pick up a pair of Japanese hatchbacks fresh off the port. You know how you can tell Rich loaded this car? You don't even have to undo the actual ratchet strap part of the ratchet. The hook just comes off of it. These little Daihatsus have a turbocharged 4-cylinder with a manual transmission, 9,500 RPM redline, and selectable 4-wheel drive. And both of them together cost me well less than the price of a single Ferrari 599 Fender. Over the weekend, we drove these little K cars all over. They never hesitated to start, gave us great fuel economy, and were a blast to drive.
Go.
Yeah!
We did it!
What is that?
Oh, my roof is...
I know, Steve, you better fix that roof.
I swear, Rich, you gotta fire this guy. I'm not kidding you either.
I know.
It was a real reminder that having a Ferrari looks cool and all, but fun can be had out of the most simple things in life. But good luck trying to pick up some strange in one of these tin cans. I'll take my Ferrari any day of the week.